Let us begin with a view from a great distance. The Earth hangs in the blackness of space, a familiar blue and white sphere. On its dark side, grids of city lights glow with human activity. In many of these cities, people are gathered. They watch large screens and digital clocks. A voice counts down the final seconds of the year. 10, 9, 8. There is a sense of shared anticipation. The crowd waits for the moment of transition into a new year. Then the clock strikes midnight, and at that exact instant, everything stops. This is a thought experiment. We are exploring a question. What if time itself ceased to exist? This is not about a person feeling that time has stopped. It is not a metaphor or a poetic idea. We are considering a literal, physical halt to the passage of time. To understand what it means for time to stop, we must first ask a basic question. What is time? In physics, time is not a force or a substance. It is a dimension, a fundamental coordinate required to specify an event in space-time. More simply, time is a measure of change. We perceive time passing because things move and events unfold. A clock works by counting regular, repeating changes, the swing of a pendulum, the vibration of a quartz crystal, the oscillations of atoms. When things change, we can say that time has passed. Without change, the concept of time loses its meaning. Time provides the structure for cause and effect. An event at one moment causes another event at a later moment. This sequence is what allows the universe to have a history. In science, time is inextricably linked to motion and energy. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, time is relative. Its passage can be affected by gravity. Its passage can be affected by speed. But in all known physics, it moves in one direction, forward. There is no known mechanism to simply turn it off like a light switch. Stopping time is not like stopping a machine. The idea is not supported by our current understanding of physics. Let us return to that moment at midnight. Imagine the scene in a city square. Fireworks, just beginning to burst, are suspended against the black sky. Each point of light is a tiny sphere of superheated gas, frozen in its expansion. The brilliant colors hang in the air, not fading or falling. People in the crowd are motionless statues. Their arms are raised in celebration. A child on a parent's shoulders, a wide smile fixed. A couple leaning in for a kiss, paused inches apart. Everything is locked in its exact position. The city becomes a perfect, still diorama. Cars stopped on bridges, headlights casting beams that do not travel, trains frozen on their tracks. A falling snowflake hangs in the air. Even the air is still. Sound is a wave of pressure through air. If air molecules stop vibrating, sound cannot propagate. The roar of the crowd, the boom of the fireworks, the music playing, all of it ceases to exist. The world is plunged into absolute, profound silence, not the quiet of a peaceful night, an absence of all activity. No wind blowing, no dust settling, no water rippling, a single film frame held indefinitely, every detail perfectly preserved, light from a street lamp frozen in place, photons suspended in their journey, shadows and reflections become permanent features, a static tableau of light and shade. The planet itself is motionless. The Earth's spin on its axis stops. Its orbit around the sun halts. The same across the cosmos. The moon no longer orbits. Planets cease their journey. Distant stars and galaxies brought to a standstill. The dynamic universe becomes a single, unchanging snapshot. A cosmos preserved in absolute stasis. What does this absolute stillness mean for living things? Life, at its most fundamental level, is a process of continuous motion. Our bodies are complex systems that depend on constant activity at every scale. The heart is a pump, contracting, relaxing, to move blood through our veins, arteries. The lungs expand, contract, drawing in air to supply our cells with oxygen. These large-scale movements are essential, and without time, they cannot happen. The heartbeat is frozen mid-beat. The lungs are fixed, neither inhaling nor exhaling. Beneath these visible motions, there is a world of ceaseless activity at the molecular level. Life is chemistry. Chemical reactions involve the breaking and forming of bonds between atoms, and this requires movement. Molecules must move to collide, interact. Enzymes, the proteins that facilitate these reactions, work by changing their shape. In a frozen world, none of this can occur. The reactions that digest our food, build our cells, generate energy, all stop. Without these chemical processes, life is not possible. Consider the brain, the seat of our consciousness. Thoughts, feelings, perceptions are the result of electrical signals, chemical signals passing between billions of nerve cells or neurons. An electrical impulse is a wave of moving charged ions. A chemical signal involves neurotransmitter molecules moving across a tiny gap, the synapse, from one neuron to another. These processes are incredibly fast, but they still require time to unfold. If all motion stops, these signals are frozen mid-journey. A thought cannot be completed. A sensation cannot be registered. Therefore, in a world without time, life ceases to be a process. An organism becomes a static collection of molecules, no different from a rock or a crystal. Consciousness, which is an emergent property of the dynamic activity of the brain, cannot exist. To feel, to think, to be aware. All of these require processes that happen over time. If all physical change stops, then all biological and neurological activity stops with it. No heartbeat, no breath, no thought. Life and consciousness are extinguished by the stillness. Given that all biological and neurological processes have stopped, would anyone notice that time had frozen? The answer is a definitive no. The act of noticing is itself a process that requires time. To become aware of something, information must be gathered by your senses, transmitted to your brain, and processed. For example, to see that a clock has stopped, light from the clock must travel to your eye. The photons must strike your retina, causing chemical changes that generate a nerve signal. That signal must then travel along the optic nerve to your brain. In a timeless state, none of this can happen. The photons of light are frozen in space. The cells in your retina cannot react. The nerve signals cannot travel. Your brain cannot process any new information. You cannot compare the current state of the world to a previous state because memory itself is a physical process. Forming a memory involves strengthening the connections between neurons, a process that requires time. So, what would it be like from the inside? There would be no inside experience. There would be no fear, no surprise, no curiosity. These are complex emotional and cognitive states that depend on the brain's dynamic activity. In a frozen universe, there is no subjective experience at all. A person frozen at midnight is not a trapped consciousness looking out at a static world. They are simply part of that static world. Their mind is as still as the air around them. Awareness itself is a product of time's passage. A universe without time is not a universe of suffering. There is no sense of being trapped, no feeling of loss, no awareness that anything is wrong. It is a state of non-existence for consciousness. Imagine a single frame of a film. The characters in that frame do not know they are in a film. They do not experience the scene depicted. They are just patterns of light and color on a piece of celluloid. Similarly, a person in a frozen universe is just a static arrangement of atoms. Let us now expand our view beyond the Earth, and ask, what would a frozen universe look like? The consequences of time stopping are universal. The planets in our solar system would be halted in their orbits. Jupiter would hang in space, its great red spot a swirl of unmoving clouds. Saturn's rings, composed of countless particles of ice and rock, would become a solid, motionless arc. Comets would be frozen in their long journey towards the sun. The entire solar system would be a majestic, silent sculpture. Light itself would be frozen. Light from the sun is composed of photons that travel at the fastest possible speed. If time stops, these photons stop moving. This means the light already traveling through space becomes static. A beam of sunlight stretching from the sun to the Earth would be a fixed column of photons. We would not see stars twinkle because twinkling is caused by their light passing through the moving layers of Earth's atmosphere. More profoundly, we would not see distant stars as they were in the past. Normally, when we look at a star that is 10 light years away, we are seeing light that began its journey 10 years ago. Looking at distant galaxies allows us to see billions of years into the past. This is because time is required for light to travel across the vast distances of space. In a frozen universe, this look-back time is meaningless. Everything is locked into a single, simultaneous now. The universe is not a movie of its history. It is a single, all-encompassing photograph. Every process, no matter how grand or how small, would halt. The expansion of the universe would stop. Stars would cease to burn. Supernovas would be frozen mid-explosion. Black holes would stop pulling in matter. The entire cosmos would be reduced to a static, unchanging state. It would exist, but it would not happen. This exploration of a timeless universe, though a fantasy, serves a valuable purpose. It helps us appreciate what time truly is and what it allows. We often think of time as a constraint, a thief that steals our youth, or a pressure that forces us to rush. But as our thought experiment shows, a world without time is a world without existence as we know it. Time is not an enemy. It is the very condition that makes life possible. It is the very condition that makes thought possible. It is the very condition that makes meaning possible. It is the canvas on which the story of the universe is painted. Time makes change possible. Change is the basis of everything we value. Without change, there can be no growth, no learning, no creation. A seed cannot become a tree. A question cannot lead to an answer. A collection of musical notes cannot become a song. Life itself is a journey of change, from birth to death. Our relationships evolve, our knowledge expands, our experiences accumulate. All of these processes depend on the steady, relentless passage of time. The flow of time gives our lives a narrative structure. It allows for a past that we can remember, a present that we can experience, and a future that we can anticipate and shape. This sequence of moments is what allows us to tell stories, to make plans, and to find meaning in our actions. Cause and effect, reason, responsibility can only exist in a universe where time moves forward. Without time, there is no story to tell and no one to tell it. So, as we watch the clock count down the seconds, perhaps we can see it differently. It is not just marking the end of one period and the beginning of another. It is a celebration of the process itself. Each tick of the clock is a confirmation that the universe is alive, that change is happening, and that existence continues. The passage of time is not something to be mourned or resisted. It is the gift that allows for everything else. Time doesn't just move us forward. It allows us to exist at all.